CMON's at it again. Crowdfunding. Coming soon. Season 3. A few predictions, a few insights, and a few thoughts prior to the launch. Let's do this. I've had a few revelations as well as a few sort of light bulbs with the announcement of Season 3, Cthulhu Death May Die, right? And I think I wanted to share them in lines with also some speculation of what this crowdfunding campaign is going to bring, wish list, as well as just some general thoughts, because let's do this, right? So number one, the biggest thing that I've all of a sudden come to the realization of is treat CMON games like CCGs. What I mean by that is, you know, we think about collectible card games, right? Where you're opening these packs and trying to get whatever you can and trying to get the rarities. And, you know, that's essentially what CMON has done, only they've done it through crowdfunding in the sense that, well, you know what? You can still have a fun game without having it all. That's where I'm going with this. Not the random pack grabbing, but, you know, I have Pokemon TCG for my kids, right? Bought about 40 cards offline on the TCG player, spruced up a couple decks from the Pokemon Academy, and we have a great time with it. I don't need the tournament competitive decks. I don't need all of the exclusives. I don't need the 37 variant models and 67 different types of monsters to play against. There's enough replayability with a core pledge. I mean that as a Kickstarter core pledge, not necessarily the retail, but splitting hairs here as well. The second big point I'm going to throw out here right now, part speculation, part piece of advice, part me telling you how to spend your money. And so you can, you know, take this for what it is. But I can hear from a state and a half away, Alex and Jesse unwrapping some sort of giant elder god macro miniature, only grand scale, because I just have this overwhelming sense of trepidation that in line of Galactus and Cthulhu, where this came from originally, these massive collector's items, that's what they are. Collector's items with a dash, a tiny sprinkling of gameplay content, enough to just make you have more FOMO. That's being unwrapped right now. I just have that feeling. I could be wrong, but I just get the sense that there is going to be some massive element. And the thing that I have learned now through those two previous campaigns, this one, the original, as well as Marvel Zombies, you do not need it. And you know what? I have absolutely zero FOMO on it as a board game player. Now, I chose my words very specifically there at the end too, right? Because as a board game player, if you're a collector and you're a completionist, hey, go for it. You know what? You got extra cash to burn. All right. If you want to try and flip it on the secondary market, go right ahead. That thing was ugly last time, right? It was ugly. It's designed to be ugly, but it's ugly. Like, I don't want that sitting on my shelf. Like, my wife is going to look at me like, you spent how much on that? What does it do? Does it breathe fire? Does it move? Can your 2-year-old play with it without it? No? Oh, okay. Not that she cares how I spend my money anyway, but, you know, there would be certainly some, you bought that instead of what else you could have bought with it? Anyway, but that's my thing, is I have zero FOMO, and I want to pass that along to you guys to say, you know what? You can also have zero FOMO on missing out on that. Zero. It's okay. You have the other stuff from it. You have more than enough game, even if they hadn't said, we're never going to revisit this franchise in the first place. You would have more than enough game for the rest of your freaking life. Think of it that way, right? Have you played through everything in here? I haven't. I love this game. I'm one of those people that loves this game. I have this game rated as number 1, if you remember my CMON video top 10 50 list, you know, where I went through every single freaking campaign and ranked them all. This was number 1. So you can tell how hyped I am to get more of it. But do I need more of it? No. I don't. Am I going to buy more of it? Yes. Am I going to get it all? No. Because CMON is also, speculation here, it's going to be, we'll say minus big guy. I'm still thinking they're going to milk this for all it's worth, because the credibility, the well-thoughtness of this game right now, The community support is basically at an all-time high of any of their games, maybe minus Blood Rage. I mean, you can't literally get an Unspeakable box for less than $300 right now, pretty much. Unless you luck out on someone flea marketing it, essentially. That's insane, even for CMON's exclusive side of things. They said right now it's going to be standalone. We know that. They said that it's also going to be compatible with the first one. Those two things make me think that they're going to try just, to market share, right? Get as many new people in as well. Now, I could be wrong. There's a small chance that they're going to go all Marvel United and offer pretty much everything from the first one around again. And again, I think you're talking 5%. I think it's a 95% thing that they're not going to offer everything. I could see them offering a few things. Little bundles like that. I could see them doing something like that. We know there's going to be new rules, new insanities, and new monsters. People from Essen over this past weekend have put out a few pictures, so we know a little bit, but here comes the speculation. What other gods, what other elder gods? I'm not familiar with Lovecraftian lore, so I can't speak to, the depths of the lore that they're going to go. Are they just going to go someplace crazy, like adjacent? I can see them doing a little bit of that too. Another speculation here, I think this is going to be before the end of the month. And now that's probably a bigger window. People are like, eh. And that probably puts it, if I'm guessing, they kind of went with a Wednesday. They shifted things up. So I'm looking at the 25th, 26th kind of over the Halloween length. But if they do like Dune, I mean, it was also like an 8-day campaign. So you could have something that easily, if it started before then, ending by the end of the month as well. That's sort of the time frame we're looking, which is crazy to think about because of all of the other massive stuff launching on the 18th. So they're not going to be launching on the 18th. I mean, they could, but if I was a company and I saw all the other big projects launching on the same day, it's going to split money. And that's the last thing CMON wants as well. So take that for what it is. That's business. Details from Essen now have told us there's going to be 2 new old ones. I mean, and that's I'm assuming, core. Then we have some info, 6 scenarios and 10 new investigators, a new hard mode with sideboard monsters, as well as a new easy mode relics. And like I mentioned previously, new stuff working with old stuff. Cross compatibility. So we'll see where that goes. Now, apparently, we've seen some leakage from Essen now. And the first one up here that we know, apparently from this, I'm assuming core, again, who knows what they're going to have in surprise for us for, exclusives, expansions, that sort of thing, is, I'm going to mispronounce this completely, Cthulhu. Basically a sloth-like, lazy elder god. And so it's summoned, it sleeps all the time. It's sloth-like in its sin nature, not like the actual animal. And it eats when it's awakened or summoned or, brought forth. And so you have to sacrifice it and appease it. It has faceless, shapeless blobs, formless spawn, as it says, that can take on the form of polymorphic black goo, essentially. So, anticipate something maybe along the lines if they stay true with sort of the lore from that sense. The other one we have is Yig. Yig is known as the father of serpents. Quick to anger, quick to please, very protectful of said serpents in the first place. So hearing all of that information, and also just leaking news that there is a very high chance they have said, someone quoting on Board Game Geek forums, take this for what you will, talking to a producer at CMON during Essen, that there will be Unspeakable boxes as well as the Giant Cthulhu. The only question is there going to be a sequel to the Giant Cthulhu? That's speculation. So how does this make you feel? Do you have this game? Now then, I'm probably just going to do my review finally of a game like this, despite having a whole lot of stuff other than the back burner. Might as well get it out and get some feelings out there for one of my favorite co-op games and CMON games as a whole. So there you go. Are you excited by this? Does this do anything for you? Did it do anything for you in the first place? Because, if you've heard me speak elsewhere, I'm not a big fan of horror. Like, this is one of the only horror games actually thematically in my collection. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, now October just got a whole heck of a lot more expensive, right? My 2 of my top potentially 5 co-op games are getting more content. That's crazy. How do you feel? You in? You out? If you can get in with some of the old stuff, does that make you more enticed, less enticed? Is this going to be a 2.0 version? Do you need the original core box or original core stuff? If they're adding things like relics, which are going to make things more symmetric, as well as you get more insane, get more powerful, but also have more detriments, kind of creating even more of a dynamic. Is this going to be like Nemesis? Is this going to be like Tainted Grail, which is running currently? How do you feel about things? Let me know in the comment section. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Do the YouTube thing. Stay classy.